So if you want to advertise your products on Pinterest, you gotta have the Pinterest pixel or the Pinterest tag installed on your Shopify site. And that's because it's the only way how you can measure the performance of your ad campaigns. So in this video, I'm about to show you how you get that in place in like 2 minutes. And then I will also show you how to validate everything. So yeah, I would say, let's go. Hey, Jan here, codingwithjan.com. And today, Pinterest tag in 2021. So this is pretty much the update video for my older Pinterest video, which is by now outdated to some degree. And I think this method should work for 95% of the people. And if you still need help with this or any other feature on your store, check out the links in the video description, and then we dive in right away. So the first two things we're gonna need are our Shopify site. For me, that's a development store where I test different features. And we're also gonna need the Pinterest tag helper. That's a Chrome extension you could easily find on Google. And you wanna make sure to install that. I already have it installed right here. So that's why it reads remove from Chrome. So for you, it should read something like add to Chrome. And from there, we can pretty much get started by navigating to the apps tab of our Shopify site. And from here, you wanna visit the Shopify App Store. So I click on Shop for Apps. And by the time the page loads, you want to search for Pinterest. And then you would find the Pinterest sales channel right here. So we're going to install that, and the app is completely for free. And then you just want to follow the process. So let's add the sales channel. And then you should be presented with this onboarding screen. So now I'm just going to connect my Pinterest account, authorize the app. And now it reads that the final step is to add a payment method, but we're not going to do that because it's pretty much optional, because the app also allows you to manage campaigns or launch campaigns directly from this dashboard. And you could even sync your Shopify products with the Pinterest catalog. But as I said, it's pretty much optional, and most people still prefer to manage their ad campaigns directly from the Pinterest dashboard or Pinterest Business Hub. And for now, we're only interested in the tracking features and the Pinterest pixel, so we're not going to do that. And now with the app in place and as it's connected to our Pinterest account, I think now is a good time to confirm everything on the front end. So that's where we need the Pinterest tag helper. And what I want to do next is go to Online Store and Themes. And then I want to preview the live theme. And now we can already see how this Chrome extension turned red, because now we got one active Pinterest tag that was recognized. And that's my personal tag ID. So this should be different on your end. And the tag was found with no issues or warnings. And the two events that were tracked are one, the initialization event, and second, the page visit event. So this pretty much just contains the page we're currently visiting. And we should get these two events on every single page. And besides that, we should also get two other critical events, which are namely the add to cart event, once we add a product to the cart, and the checkout or purchase event when we complete all the checkout steps. So here we can see I'm on a category page, and now I even got 3 events, which are initialization, page visit, and view category. So this seems to work fine as well. And here we are on one of the product pages, and per default, or I want to say on page load, we get 2 different events, the initialization and the page visit. And now we can also see that we get a small warning within the page visit event because it says the product category is missing. And if we unfold that, you would also see that this time not only the page URL was sent, but also a little bit of additional data alongside. So we have the currency, the product ID, the product name, the price. So just a bit of extra data about this product. And as we can see, the product category is missing, but all the warnings are optional, and I wouldn't worry about it too much because in your Pinterest dashboard, everything will work just fine. And only if we had an error, we would need to find a way to fix that. And now if we test the add to cart button, we should see a 3rd event recognized. So let's see if we get a little 3 here. Perfect. And now we can see that we also get the add to cart event, which was sent successfully, but with warnings because the category is missing here as well. But as I said, nothing to worry about. And we can also see what kind of data is passed along. So it's the product ID, the variant, the name, the price, the quantity. So then Pinterest or your ad campaigns pretty much know how much value or how much products were added to the cart. Now, one thing that is sometimes overlooked is that we not only have add to cart buttons on product pages, because for example, You could also have this featured product element on the homepage. So I added one for demo purpose right here. And these add to cart events should also be recognized. So right now we have 2 events, and now I click the add to cart button, and here's the third one. So the add to cart event was sent successfully, but with warning, because we're still missing the product category, which is not to worry about. Okay, lastly, we want to confirm whether the Pinterest pixel also works on our checkout, or to be more precise, if the purchase event fires. So the way you could usually test this is if you have any existing orders, you could just go into one of these, and then you could go to More Actions, View Order Status Page. And this would get you to the order status page, who would have guessed it? And here we see that the initialization event was fired and the page visit event. So that's a good sign. But unfortunately, we can't confirm the purchase event like that, because otherwise the purchase event would always fire if one of the visitors checks back on the order status page, and then it would track way too many conversions. So then we would just have to make a test purchase, and there are 2 different ways you could go about this. So if your site is not live yet, that is to say you're still on a development site, then you could just go to the payment settings. Here we have the payment provider settings. And down here we should read something, or we should find something where it reads manual payment methods. And then we could just click on create custom payment method. And maybe we could go with something like testing for now. Yeah, so just be sure to not do this if you're on the live site, because then your customers will see this weird testing payment method. And in that case, you rather want to create a dummy product, which maybe costs something like 10 cents or something like that. And then you can just do like the real checkout process and put your credit card details or a PayPal and do the test purchase that way. But as I'm working in a development store, I will use the test payment method. And now I have a cart full of products, and I would also recommend like having products with different variants or maybe different quantities, so that you can test all different use cases at once. And now I'm just going to finish the checkout process with all my testing data. So here's my test payment method, and now we can just complete the order. And finally, we see that we get all 3 events. So here we have the initialization, the page visit, and now we also got the checkout event. And that contains a lot of data regarding the purchase. So total order value 610, that excludes shipping, currency was euro, quantities. And then we got a lot of information for all the individual products. So for example, here we have the dark denim top, price was 60 and quantity was 5. So that's pretty much all the data that Pinterest needs to calculate the return on ad spend for your campaigns. All right, so that was how you test all the different events. And that was also how I made 615 euros in 10 minutes as an absolute beginner on Shopify. No, I'm just kidding. So I hope this method worked for you. And if it doesn't, you're probably using one of the less popular themes. And if that's the case, you would have to get into the code side of things and implement the tag manually. I could also show you how it's done, but as the video is already long enough, I didn't want to include it right away. So then you would just have to leave me some feedback. Or I could also get you in touch with one of our Bootcamp graduates, link in the description. And then I guess I'll just see you in the next. Bye.